I racked up $20,000 in personal charges on my company credit card. Original post June 4, 2015 by Alison Green. The short version of the story is that I genuinely misunderstood the way my corporate credit card was to be used. I had been using it over the last few years regularly for personal reasons, including medical car payments, a cars required for my job, but not covered under expenses and general personal shopping. My girlfriend didn't have income for 2 years, and I used the card to cover expenses beyond my paycheck.
I can use PayPal to get cash out of the card and into my bank account, so what I had been doing was waiting until the bill was due a new billing cycle and taking out that amount with PayPal, then using the cash to pay it off, plus adding in my own money to try and reduce the balance a little. This just means I get charged PayPal fees for the cash advance, and it means nothing more is due until the next billing cycle. This results in the next month having the balance, plus charges minus any and all money I can put toward it out of my pay, generally $2,000 a month. Somehow, I have managed to rack up a rolling balance of $20,000 on this card, and I can't ever pay it all off in one go. I had a bankruptcy a few years ago and cannot qualify for a loan to cover the full amount.
I am scared to bring it up with my manager because it might mean I will lose my job once they realize what's been happening. And if I lose my job, I will no longer be able to contribute the $2,000 each month toward paying the balance off. Some people even have suggested I might be up for serious legal problems, and I just feel so stressed out every single day about the situation. Editor's note: the letter writer was asked to clarify on if it was allowed, and that they could pay it back before anyone noticed it.
The response: well, there's a bit more to it. My main job function changed dramatically.
After working for the company for 2 years on site at a client office, I was informed that the client had canceled the contract, so I would need to do another function which would require driving all over town instead of being based in an office.
My manager said point blank that if I didn't get a car within the week, there was nothing he could do for me. He stated clearly and explicitly that the company card could not be used for personal expenses, but he also mentioned that it would not be checked up on if it got paid in full each month.
So with that information, I made the decision to go forward. I truly thought that all would be okay as long as I did whatever it takes to pay the balance in full each month, and it seems to have held true so far, but at the same time, I am aware that the company policy states no personal expenses.
The original plan was to use the money for a deposit on a car, and once the car was paid off, I would then have the car as an asset which I could use as security on the loan, which I could use to pay off the card.
All was going to plan, but the car got written off due to the engine totally breaking down after a month, so I then had to get another deposit on a second car.
That was also okay until one day, while at a red light, a semi-truck smashed it up, and that second car was nearly paid off, but then it got written off as well. Luckily for the second car, I did have insurance, but the insurance company only agreed to pay out the remaining balance on that car loaned, and so I was again carless. Third car deposit, and 4 years later I am feeling trapped in this cycle where I am getting about $600 in PayPal fees every month. I am starting to get unwell from the constant stress and thought that her might see it as theft, and I could be sent to jail, lose my job, and lose my reputation and ability to get another job.
Basically, I am terrified that I have ruined my life completely through an act which was made at a time of high stress and was short-sighted, but done with the intention of saving my job. I don't know if it is relevant, but I have had so impulse control particularly, when under stress has always been an issue for me, and the whole thing was really traumatic with changing roles and several other factors. My mental state was definitely not clear at the time I started doing this.
But date, number 1 July 20th, 2015, 1.5 months later from the original post, I went to my manager and just laid it on the table. I cut out any mention of factors as to how I got here. I just laid it out. I have $20,000 in personal expenses on the company card, and I can't immediately pay it back. He had to go to his boss, and she had a teleconference with me along with her. Along with the meeting invite, they attached the company credit card policy along with the ethics policy. The first question they asked was, "Do you understand how a company card is supposed to be used?" I said that I have read The documents they gave me, and from reading them and talking to my manager, it is very clear that the way I have been using the card up until now is inappropriate. The next thing they asked was just to be clear, you have $20,000 of personal expenses and you can't pay the entire amount in one lump sum.
Is that what you are saying? Then they asked, how will you pay it back? I said that I am happy if I pay only my rent and food, and they can basically take the rest of my pay until it is covered.
My manager's boss said she is not happy with it because it will put me under stress, which might lead to some other act of desperation or make my job performance suffer. She further stated that because it is such a large amount, they do not have the budget to pay it in order for me to repay the company slowly. She went on to explain that the American Express corporate card is not a true credit card, but a debit card, and therefore the company must clear the bill each month or face fines, penalties, and a breach of the agreement that our company has with American Express. She asked if I have fully explored loans, friends, family, and all other options. I said that I had, and I could provide rejected loan applications to show the effort I have been going through to get this debt into my name. She said that they need to go back to the fines team to figure out the next steps, and she stated she would schedule a meeting for Thursday of this past week. I haven't heard back from her regarding this, and I assume she is still waiting to hear back from the finance team and attempting to come up with a fix for this situation. She says that the issue of the misuse of the company card is a secondary issue, and the first is how to pay the bill.
My manager rang me just after this meeting finished. He was full of support and offered to write up the cost of losing me.
He said he would like to show his boss that it would cost 4 times the $20,000 for him to outsource coverage and hire a new person, not to mention the interruption the claimant would experience. He said, I need to put together a budget showing my income and expenses, and he suggested I do $100 per week personal spending in the budget so they will see the game plan I come up with is sustainable.
He informed me of a few company policies where employees can cash out a week of holiday pay each year with approval, and he said he is happy to approve that. Also, he will find out if I can cash out retirement funds to help with this, and he is offering as much overtime as possible. He suggested if I seek an out-of-hours job to supplement this, and that it be restricted to weekends only because otherwise he'll get burned out and might not stick to the plan. He suggested I compose an email full of action words, like I can commit $6 per paycheck rather than he'll try to repay as soon as possible. He even kindly offered to proofread my email and look it over before sending on to her and upper management.
He mentioned that the likelihood of legal proceedings is low due to it being easier for them to get money from me. If I am still working, and at least in New Zealand, it's bad for the company reputation to take the hard road with their employees.
While he says he cannot predict the outcome, he will support every effort to retain me. He suggested as a start to just offer to relinquish the credit card and offer to expense legitimate things through my bank account going forward.
I put together a quick budget reflecting that with no more spending on the card and no more of the monthly PayPal fees, I can get this paid off within 12 months through payroll reductions alone.
And I have stated that I'm still exploring possibilities of loans as well as seeking overtime and the possibility of some weekend work to reduce the time frame for total payback. I am shocked they didn't fire me on the spot, relieved that it seems legal action is low on the list of likely outcomes, and totally amazed at their level of understanding and willingness to help me.
Is like this huge, scary, heavy, unknown thing that has been causing depression and taking my mind very dark places over the last 4 years is now lifted, and I see a light. At the very least, it's not going to grow any bigger. PayPal fees are out of the equation, so a contribution I make is going 100% towards the outstanding amount. You know, my friend, I think I am standing 2 inches taller. Just waiting for this second meeting is a bit of limbo, but it's far better than this terror. I have put myself in over this. It's just good that it is in the light. Now I'll let you know what happens after this meeting, which I haven't even gotten an invite for just yet.
Update number 2 December 6, 2016, nearly 16 and a half months later. Hi all, just thought I'd give you an update. I'd all just thought it'd give you an update a year later. I have Repay, X in full, and with the habit of saving firmly established, I have a little bit of a safety net in place, so things will not likely get that bad ever again.
I'd got a promotion in my job later on in the year, and that came with a pay raise, so I was actually able to get it taken care of in 9 months instead of 12 lives. All good, and I am very thankful for all the opinions here. Some of the info was very valuable in my approach. Things could have taken a very different path. File update. March 17th, 2017, 3 months later from the previous update. I am now after the promotion on $60,000.
Previously it was $55,000 per year, so while not easy with 2 kids' rent and car payments, I was so relieved. Not to be jobless, I just made it work, and I discovered that beans are marvelous as a side effect of this. I must tell you guys.
I learned to cook at home a lot. This was such an amazing journey. Not only cheaper and healthier, but damn tasty in terms of stress management. I was seriously in trouble this time 2 years ago.
I turned to exercise as a stress management relief source, and I have dropped 20 kilograms with only changing diet and starting a running routine each week. I know I messed up bad, but to be honest, I am a better, less depressed, more active, more thoughtful, and happier person now. Looking back, it was a serious kick in the butt, and I made use of it to get on a better life path. I am so glad to hear everybody cheering me on along the path. This website and the community here were literally my backbone during a turning point. The advice I took away and what I did with it has truly made me a better human. I cannot express the gratitude ever enough. Thanks to you all.